Welcome back to Life Chronicles. We live out here in Brooklyn, working a nice event today on a nasty day. Right? I'm still getting my coffee in. And of course, you know the grind don't stop no matter what's going on. Because in the Life Chronicles, we talk about the wins, the losses, but most importantly, lessons, y'all. It's about those lessons. Because after the lessons comes the blessings. And what can I say? I'm way too blessed to be stressed. You know? Now, I almost didn't make it to this event because it's nasty out here. It's been raining. I didn't know it was raining. But that's besides the point. Always show up. Right? Always show up because rain, sleet, snow, hail, you gotta show up and put your best foot forward, and that's what I'm on. Putting my best foot forward and not let nothing stop my progress. And honestly, if I was you, I would do the same thing too. Because these are the days that count. And as always, we always stacking the days. You gotta show up, even when you don't want to show up, even when you're not feeling your best. You still gotta show up for yourself and show up for the people that's counting on you, man, right? Because today I'm working with a vendor, and this woman, she has her own small business, and as I'm building my business up, I not only showed up to work with her, but also to take notes, to network, see what I can gain from the experience, but also to let her know I show up regardless. Once I book with you, you book and confirm me for your event, I'm showing up. I don't care how it look outside. Now, if I get deterred, I get turned away, that's something different. But our relationship won't be based on you saying I didn't show up. So I'm always showing up, and that's the key thing for everything, is making sure you show up. Every day is not going to look pretty. Some days are really going to be challenging. And, just last weekend, it was raining just like this when I was working at the Governor's Ball. And now, fast forward a week later, it's raining again on Saturday. But this also is the last weekend of spring, so the trees got to get what they got to get so they can keep growing. So I'm not mad at it. And another thing is this: keep it real with yourself. If you know people don't support you, you can't sit there and lie to yourself and act like you got all the support in the world. You know you don't have that support, right? You know who supports you. And you gotta be real about it. The other thing is this: be your biggest cheerleader. Because some days people are not gonna root for you. They're not gonna pat you on your back. They're not gonna give you a hug. They're not gonna say you're doing a good job. Even though you could be doing an immaculate job, you're not going to hear that all the time. And you have to be okay with that. Because if you're not okay with that, what can I say to that? You got to be okay with that. I was actually going to be out in Tennessee this weekend at Bonnaroo. And then next weekend, I was going to be at Electric Forest, right? However, I wasn't able to actually get out there and do those things. So I gotta hold it down, make the best of my situation, and not worry about it. And it's gonna be a lot of tempting things, a lot of temptation. But when you focus, you don't have time to be tempted. And when the opportunities come, you jump on them. Now, some other cool events that I'm gonna be booked for down the pipeline, but I'm showing up for everything, every time. And right now I'm locking in. You know, my birthday next month, and I'm not really thinking about it. I just know that it's approaching, so it's kind of crossed my mind. You know, me and my cousin talked about some plans, but the main plan is sticking to the game plan. And you need to remember that too. Your main plan is sticking to your game plan. No deviating. No shortcuts. You gotta go the road less traveled. And you gotta be alright with that. And not only can't everybody come with you, everybody can't know about the game plan either. Because they don't have nothing to add on your game plan. So when you're on fire, what you think they're gonna do? They're gonna try to douse you. They're gonna get the water hose. They're gonna try to put you out. No, you gotta pour gasoline on that fire and keep your desires burning. Because once you got that burning desire, that's when you're gonna really be locked in. And that's in Think and Grow Rich too. Burning desire is everything, right? So you gotta stay locked in. The more you lock in, the more you lock out them other people who don't see what you got going on, don't care about what you got going on. And that's all right if they don't care. You can't make them care. How you gonna make them care? Some people don't even care about themselves, don't care about their family, don't care about their friends. Some people don't have family or friends or nobody root for them, and they're still successful. So your success is not going to be contingent upon who's around you. They can help, they can push, but ultimately you got to pull yourself through. And not just any pull, a magnetic pull that's strong, irresistible. And we not arguing with nobody all summer. I'm not arguing with nobody. Matter of fact, for the rest of the year, I'm not arguing. Anybody who got something to say, I'm going to let them say their piece, and then I'm going to go on. I'm going to hear you, and I'm going to continue on with my movement. Because that's the last thing we doing. Because those words of discouragement, those words of negativity, there's no sense in keep beating yourself up. I'm gonna be honest, bro. Beating yourself up ain't it. No, that's not it. Because if you're gonna do that, then you're going to talk yourself right out of your greatness. And every day is not great. So on the days that you're feeling great, you gotta run with it. Because there's gonna be days when you feel like shit. There's gonna be days when you don't feel like doing it, and you still gotta do it at a high level. You can't worry about your progress, where you at today, where you at right now. That's what we lock in and focus on. And as always, you know, I'm outside, I'm in the elements. But it's been a little minute, so I figured I had to drop something on the channel just to let you know. I didn't forget about my supporters, subscribers. I appreciate you guys. And, you know, that's what we doing, right? Hustle, sleep, repeat. You see the hat? We outside. We not worrying about nothing. You know, people gonna look at you strange. They don't know what you got going on. They might not care what you got going on. Maybe they do, but regardless of what, just keep going. Just keep going. Don't let nobody knock you off your high horse. Don't let nobody knock you off your high horse. And when the time to get low happens to come, that's what you do. You get low. You lock in. You got to stay in the house all weekend, one weekend, that's what you got to do. You gotta go out all weekend, run errands, that's what you gotta do. But you gotta do what's best for you. Because this is the season to lock in. Stay locked and loaded. as always, put your best foot forward. And if I couldn't leave you with nothing other than what I always leave you with, peace. Catch you in the next one.